I can't wait.
And for everybody a little older, he just said, "That's my childhood," and I was like, "I was well into my 20s."
No. Well,
yeah.
In 98.
98, the last dance.
Yeah, he was rolling.
That's what makes it.
That's gold.
That's gold.
98. She was a thought in 98, back up for sure.
I was. Listen, I enjoyed my life. And that is the exact advice I gave Aisha and a young Steph at D. Wright's 25th birthday party.
It all comes out. I'm so done.
You guys, the likelihood of this working out is very low, and you should just break up now and have sex with other people. I use a little bit more adult.
Yeah.
But is that not what I told y'all both?
You looked at me and said, "How old are you?" Okay.
Precisely, because I was a thought.
I apologize on behalf of the Wade family. We are not. That's not who we are anymore.
I wish somebody else.
I still might give them same advice. Listen.
Right. That's not who we are anymore. Yeah, you're right, D. Wade. The Wade family is even worse these days, especially with the onset of what's happening and what's going on with your youngest son, Zion, who is now Zaire or whatever she is calling himself. All at the behest of that woman that's right next to you. So, first off, I want to give all praises to the Most High through Hamashiach Yahushai. I just want to come back with a quick edification for the brothers out there, for the sisters out there, and just kind of extol on this little video here of D. Wade, Gabrielle Union, and them reminiscing on the advice that Gabrielle Union gave to a younger Steph Curry and a younger Ayesha Curry who were just dating at the time. You know, that, hey, she should just stop seriously seeing who Steph was a young man at that time. Stop seeing him, and they should break up and go see other people and go sleep and have sex with other people. Right? Horrible advice. Horrible advice to give to a young couple. In fact, that advice could have had Ayesha and Steph followed that advice. I mean, it would have been disastrous for Ayesha, for sure. Steph would have still been Steph. Steph Curry is still going to be great all-star point guard and the one of the best three-point shooters of this era. He's going to still be that. He's still going to win his championships. But, you know, Ayesha Curry, she would not have the quasi-stardom that she has now. She wouldn't have the lucrative business opportunities that she has now with her restaurants, with her cooking brand, or cookware brand, I should say. She wouldn't have any of those things right now if her star was not attached and hitched onto her husband, Steph Curry. So Gabrielle could have definitely ruined the life of a young Ayesha Curry if she would have went ahead and followed that. Poor advice. Psalm 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right, so those words were pretty bitter that Gabrielle Union was shooting. And you got to know, because she said right here in the video that I'm a little older, is what she said. She is a little older. She's about 10 years older than D. Wade. Gabrielle Union is 47 years old. D. Wade is 38. She's like 9 years older, 9 or 10 years older than that man, depending on when their birthdays are. Right? So you better believe that not only was she giving that advice to Ayesha because she's wicked as hell herself, right? She was giving that advice because she's also jealous of her youth. And you find that happening with a lot of C-list celebrities like a Gabrielle Union, who, you know, no one's checking for anymore. She was very fortunate to have found Dwayne Wade, a man who was still affluent. He was about 25 when they got together. A man who was still affluent, still relative, and had a lot of money. That as her career kept diminishing, she could find rest and find security in his stardom, in his finances, and what he's doing. So Ayesha Curry and Gabrielle Union, both two very, very lucky ladies. But Gabrielle Union, I suspected that she was a little jealous of Ayesha's youth at the time. Ayesha was, very pretty. She was in much better shape than she is currently. So, I could see her coming up being, and also Ayesha was a budding actress. She had dreams of becoming an actress herself, but, she went the homemaker route, the cooking route, and the family image. It's good branding for the Currys. It works for them. Gabrielle Union was jealous of that and gave them horrible, horrible advice. She basically advised her to say, hey, go ahead and be a hoe, right? And the Currys are Christians. They're supposed to be Christians, right? It's supposed to be adherents to the Bible. So why they're even having communication with the Wades, one, after that horrible advice from Gabrielle, and two, what's happening in their home life. I mean, they agree with the tenets of the LGBT community. They're raising a pre-op transgender boy who is becoming a quote-unquote girl. Why are they even having any fellowship or any communication with the Wades at all is beyond me. Let's see what the Bible has to say about the advisement of Miss Gabrielle Union, right? What she admitted to having advised the Currys, way back in the day there. Let's see what it says here. Let's go to Titus 2 and 3. I'm just going to leave this picture up of Gabrielle with her mouth wide open, talking a bunch of nonsense. That's what she does, right? Leave it just like that. Titus 2:3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine. We see Gabrielle and her husband, Dwayne, were definitely sucking down the vino, right? Nothing wrong with having wine or even strong drink, but, everything in moderation. This woman's a lush. She even wrote books about, what was the title of her book? I'm going to need more wine, something to that effect. Wine was a part of the title of the book that she released, right? So she's definitely a lush. Not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, not being a thought, but chaste, right? Keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Okay? So that's what she's supposed to be teaching. She's supposed to be teaching younger women that they should be chaste, that they should be sober, that they should love their husbands, love their children, right? She was much older than the Currys, so she should have been teaching them the ways of holiness. But we know that she's a witch and a warlock, a witch and a devil, right? So she's not going to be doing all that. She's not going to be doing any of the aforementioned in Titus chapter 2. Not at all. But the total opposite. Spreading mayhem and discourse, having a petty agenda, having jealousy of a young, attractive Ayesha Curry, right? Who's on the rise with her young point guard boyfriend at the time, who goes on to become superstar Steph Curry, right? There's jealousy there. A mixture of jealousy and wickedness. Right? You'll find it a lot with our liberal left-wing sisters these days. Okay? They're not about meekness. They're not about holiness. They're about petty agendas, whoredom, feminist values that are destructive to our communities. Okay? Let's get another scripture. Let's get 1 Timothy 5 and 9. 1 Timothy 5 and 9. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old. Right? So why that number specifically? Okay? Paul's writing to Timothy and he's saying, hey man, let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, because that's the age that a woman has reached her complete maturity. She's 60 years old. Okay? So all the games are done. Her looks have faded. You know, she's coming to the realization that the world doesn't revolve around her. It's not all about her. It is about her man who is, you know, hopefully doing the work of the Most High. Her children, her grandchildren, imparting wisdom and trying to make better women for the next generation so we can have a stronger nation. Okay? She's having macrocosmic thoughts like that at that age, at 60 years old. She's finally starting to get it. Okay? Her maturity should be complete by that time. All right? There's a lot of simple 60-year-old women out there though. Okay? But for the most part, right, she should have reached maturity. Okay? Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man. Verse 10, well reported of for good works. Is Gabrielle Union reported for of good works? She's almost 50. So she's not quite at this 80 age yet, but she's she's making her way there rapidly. Okay? But is she well reported of good works? No. She's bragging about how much of a thought she was in 98. How she lived her life, how she got schmanged out and banged out. Okay? And that's a lot of these Hollywood actresses, man. They're a lot of them are, especially these C-list actresses like Gabrielle. They're just treats, man. They're passed around. You know? Casting couch cooch. Jump offs for directors. All right? Her body's been semen soaked for her to get some of those roles. I don't mean to be too graphic, man, but like some of this stuff you have to know actually goes down, man. That Eyes Wide Shut movie, it's crazy how it was either the producer or the director is found dead based off that, or the writer found dead based off that movie, found him off and whatnot connected to that movie. Right, that movie told a lot of truth. It really gave you a vision into what really goes down in Hollywood. Right, a lot of weirdo stuff, man. Right. So well reported of good works? No, she doesn't have that. Is she doing good works with her stepson Zion? Nope. She's pushing the homosexual agenda on him. Verse 10, well reported for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, right? She's humble. She's washing feet. Like Yahushua was. He was humble. He washed the feet of his taught ones, of his disciples, his servants. Right? If she have received the affliction, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against Hamashiach, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house. Right? Like Gabrielle. You not physically going to somebody's house, but you worried about the next man and his woman, their household. Wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. Right? This woman clearly is. If any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the assembly be charged, that they may relieve them that are widows indeed. So Paul is just going into how these women, older women, are supposed to be performing, are supposed to be behaving, right? Not tattlers, not saying things that they ought not to say. You should not be telling a younger woman, that is young and hopefully doesn't have the type of mileage on her that you have, Miss Gabrielle Union. You shouldn't be telling her to break up with a stable man, a functional young man who was raised, in a 2-parent household. You could tell Steph's mom ran the whole show, but nonetheless, raised in a 2-parent household, right? Has functionality, has promise, right? Telling that young woman to break up with him and go be a hoe in a thought like you were. That makes absolutely no sense. Why? So she could be miserable up until her 40s and have to get surrogates to carry her children and all this other stuff? No. Damn that. A lot of these women, man, are bitter and miserable, and misery loves company. You got mama jealous of daughter because daughter is out enjoying her husband, living her life, going out to eat with him, going to have drinks with him, laid up, got plans, building a future together. And she's so dysfunctional, she can't keep a man. She chased away every man. Okay? And she doesn't even want to see her daughter have what she could never have, which is a functional relationship with a man. Okay? So pettiness and jealousy runs rampant amongst our women. Right? It's something that we got to be on the lookout for. As men and women. You young ladies, don't fall susceptible to it. And you brothers, when you see it, check that spirit. Right? All right, let me get one last scripture and I'm going to get on out of here. I don't want to make this too long. But real quick, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. The book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. Chapter 26, verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Right? But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Right? So a shameless woman is going to be counted as a dog. We all know what a dog is, what a female dog is. All right? That's what the scriptures are saying. She's counted as a beast, right? And this woman definitely is shameful. To be on social media and bragging about you being a whore right in front of your husband, who's such a simp, he doesn't even realize that he's supposed to be embarrassed about that and have a conversation with her later and say, hey, listen, a lot of people know you as a whore, but listen, you don't have to put out there on Front Street because I'm trying to make an honest woman out of you. Shut that shit up. Okay? He's got to have that conversation later. But he doesn't even know to do that. He's laughing along with her. Right? That's shameless. Right? And the Most High said she's going to be counted as a dog. Right? So be on the lookout, you sisters in Israel, for the counsel of the wicked. Okay? Don't listen to these jealous, simple-ass women that can't keep a man and then got themselves so much mileage put on them. It's like they're a car from Avis. They got so much mileage on them. Don't listen to them. Right? Keep yourself chaste. Right? If you're able to be with a functional man who knows the Most High, who's seeking the Most High and is trying to serve him, support that man and try to build that family, make our nation stronger. Right? Brothers, you got a woman like this in your life, man, jettison her ass. Don't be a simp. Make the nation stronger. Right? Peace. I'm out.